Welcome back to another episode of Chair Shots and Chit Chat with your host, CE, and me, myself, I'm Paco. This is a podcast where we talk everything WWE, and today we have a lot to talk about. Before we start, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. It really, really helps us out.
Moving on to Monday Night Raw.
I did watch it.
The show opened
I did watch it.
no one other than, it was Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins' faction is running this whole show at this point.
And they have they're having multiple segments in one show.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest talking point for Raw. It's overshadowing everything else, which is how it should be.
Overshadowing is the wrong word. In my book, but let's move on.
It's not overshadowing. It's more like
it's getting the right amount of attention.
Yes, we'll go with
that.
Yeah. They seem to be, another member's coming.
I said this last week. They built up to another member coming between
Michael Cole.
When
he's talking about it,
he's foreshadowing that so hard.
There's more people coming.
Yeah, he's foreshadowing it very, very hard. The WWE is also foreshadowing. I said it last week, if not last week or the week before that, with the addition of CM Punk and the defense between Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, it builds it so it's going to be like
it's going to be a Shield. So you remember back when the Shield was together and Seth Rollins used to chat, there's always a plan B, and Seth hits.
And that's so, and that's what I think too. It just goes back to the predictability, right? I don't think
it's predictable. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because, yes, there's another event.
If I could tell you who I think it is, and you tell me that's who you think it is, it's predictable.
Okay, who?
Sami Zayn. It's not Jey Uso, because he's a champion. It's not CM Punk.
Jey has gone from wearing... It's subtle changes.
Okay.
He's gone from wearing colorful to all black. Right?
Okay.
I thought Sami was going to... And we talked about this last week. Mm-hmm. I thought Sami was going to turn on Jey during the celebration of when he won the title.
Yeah.
But what if? What if it's all a ploy and it's CM Punk? By the way, didn't see Karrion Kross last night.
You are right.
Like, it could go. I mean, they're throwing people off. So it's not like, you can genuinely say, it's this person or this person.
Out of the three, the most probable one is Sami Zayn. Like, this is me booking without my heart.
But thinking about it, Jey Uso was attacked by Bron Breakker. Mm-hmm. You remember
who came to his rescue?
Remember how Dom was always getting beat up by Judgment Day? And he ended up joining the Judgment Day. I mean, that could be a factor too.
Okay. So maybe it is unpredictable because neither one of us are on the same page.
No.
Okay.
But I mean, there's other names that have been thrown out, and with the draft coming up, not for certain.
You know who I wouldn't want to see as much as people might want to see?
People are saying Drew McIntyre.
Oh my gosh, I hope not.
Because he hates CM Punk. He has history with Sami Zayn. And he doesn't like Jey Uso and his family.
I really hope not.
I really hope not, too.
Yeah, I really hope not. I was going to say Dean Ambrose.
He's still under contract with
I know, but I'm just saying, because people have put that name in there, too.
It'd be interesting, for sure. That's an interesting character.
But he deserves his solo matches. He deserves his solo run.
He had it.
But not that one that did
he
injustice.
He had the title.
But not one that did injustice. You know that.
Yeah, the Dean Ambrose is like way out in left field.
Right.
Some people are saying Austin Theory.
A lot of people are saying Austin Theory.
I've seen. Who else have I seen?
I saw AJ Styles in there.
I don't think it's gonna be AJ.
I don't think it's gonna be AJ Styles.
I've seen. What is his name?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I went blank.
What does he look like?
You said Karrion Kross.
I said Karrion Kross, yeah.
But I haven't seen that.
I've heard Carmelo Hayes too.
His character doesn't make sense for it. And it could be somebody from outside the company.
It could be.
It could be.
What if it's
Jungle Boy from AEW?
Oh, okay. No, that's not what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
You know what I was going to say.
No.
Say his name.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
But what if it's Cody? You know what I mean? We've been waiting for that heel turn.
Maybe it is Cody, but...
Because Cody... Well, it looks like Cody's going to get that rematch with Cena at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But we don't know. But yeah, there is definitely going to be another member. We might find out at Saturday night's main event, which is in 2 weeks, which is stupid. They're doing Sami Zayn and CM Punk versus... And that's where I think it might be Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Because he was like, hey, we good? Last night he asked him if he was good. He was like, I can't really trust anybody. What if it is Sami Zayn?
Yeah, CM Punk said that.
So...
I also saw something that said that whenever Jey Uso got attacked, that whenever...
He does come up out of nowhere. I will give you that.
Sami Zayn?
Sami Zayn just comes up.
So does CM Punk. CM Punk said too.
No, CM Punk comes down the ramp.
Oh, okay.
Sami Zayn comes from the crowd. I don't know if that plays into it.
Oh, no, I'm talking about in backstage when Jey Uso got attacked. Jey Uso got attacked. I think he got speared. Bron Breakker
But Sammy,
walks away.
or Paul even said, yeah.
Let me get my thought away.
Go ahead.
Apparently, Sami Zayn went up to him, and Easter egg is that whenever he went to go like check on him, he put his hand on the belt. That is something that apparently...
I did not see that.
I didn't see it either. I saw it on TikTok today whenever I was like going through fan theories.
The NXT call-ups are proving they belong.
Agreed.
The main event...
And it's the women call-ups that are like really impressive.
The main event between Roxanne Perez, Julia, tag team against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. It was a phenomenal match.
It was really good.
Roxanne Perez is now the third youngest to wrestle a Raw main event match.
Good for her. How old is she?
She's only 24. 23.
That's not bad.
23 and 6 months.
How old was
Randy Orton was the second, and then Kenny Dykstra from the Spirit Squad was the first, because he was only 21.
Okay.
I loved the match.
They exemplify what not women's wrestling, but wrestling in general.
This goes back to the releases.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not up to speed within a certain amount of time, or if you're out of here.
Yeah.
You know, there have... I don't know why it took so long, but Bron Breakker took a while to get to the main roster. He should have been in the main roster a long time ago. And we talked about this last year.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, same thing with Braun Strowman. The only reason why they let him go is because of the money. They're going to bring him back.
Oh, yeah, you told me that they're doing, like, that how everybody's getting their own show now. Stephanie McMahon has her, you know what I'm talking about, right? She has her show, she has her podcast. Apparently, Braun Strowman's like they're traveling, eating my way through America.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Going through all the famous restaurants in the United States and eating everything.
Yeah. There was no negative, like, They didn't leave on negative terms.
Well,
it was just that he couldn't move around as much.
Braun Strowman is generally liked.
Yeah.
Is generally liked in WWE. That's why there was so much commotion when they said, we're releasing Braun Strowman and every other side that they released, but they signed AAA and they signed AAA talent Alberto Del Rio.
So, on that, they're converting all of the contracts eventually.
I figured that's what they were doing.
It's going to be under TKO, not AAA. So, TKO WWE will take the brunt of their contracts under one umbrella. That's basically all it is. Alberto Del Rio will not appear on WWE TV.
Do you think he gets released from AAA? Because he's a AAA champion right now.
I don't think so. Because there were a lot of people saying that he was going to be fired, and then he got signed to a WWE contract. So, I get it with everything that happened with Alberto Del Rio in the past. I get it. But, I mean, we're allowing other things to happen. You know.
Yes.
There's a whole scandal going on right now.
Yeah.
So, they're doing it with Chris Benoit too. Oh, now Chris Benoit can be talked about again. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and Triple H said if it makes money, then it'll happen.
Yeah.
That's how the CM Punk thing happened. Right. The only other thing I wanted to talk about from Raw was the Finn Balor. That turn's coming.
I hope so.
I just think it's been dragged out too long.
That Finn Balor AJ
it was a phenomenal match.
AJ
Styles.
AJ Styles match was really, really good. Which shows how much chemistry they have from over years and years of wrestling together.
They definitely wrestled outside the company.
Yeah. They were in the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
So.
And Finn Balor was also seen talking to Roxanne Perez. They've left little Easter eggs over the last couple of weeks where he's unhappy. And, yeah. But my favorite part from the entire show, whereas Carlito, he was like, "Oh, I know you miss Liv. We can hang out. We can go out to eat. You can pay with your credit card, and I'll pay you back." That was the funniest thing of the entire show.
Did he say anything back?
Who?
Dumb?
No.
He just said okay.
He was talking to Raquel.
Ah.
Because there was some backstage. But no, yeah, I definitely hope that Finn Balor turn is coming. I feel like after he got his knee injury back in 2017, 2016, they just kind of gave up on it.
Look, the WWE will look very different had he not injured himself after winning the Universal title.
Yeah, for sure.
It would look very, because they were pushing him hard.
Yeah, he was the first Universal champion. Yeah. And then he got injured, and it's been shitty ever since. Yeah. Bring back the Demon. I
agree.
I'd like to see a match with him and Finn. With Dom and Finn. Sorry.
Yeah. Look, I'm conflicted. Because you get... It's the... I hate saying this, has-beens and the could-be's.
Yep.
I wouldn't say that Finn Balor is a has-been.
No, he could still go.
Because, absolutely. I mean, you saw it yesterday. But he is definitely an older talent.
Okay, but you say that. Jeff Cobb's 42 years old. They just signed him. Look at Seth Rollins.
I would have to see how they handle Jeff Cobb.
He's 44. Seth Rollins is 44.
Yeah, yeah, but he's made a name for himself outside of the title contention.
R-Truth is 53.
Okay, but you don't really think that he's going to be, which we can talk about this later, you don't really think that he's going to be a world champion anymore. Like, he's been stuck in, not the mid-card, but the low card, what would you call it?
I like Vince for that. That's a Vinceism. And I also think it's Bruce Pritchard that's ruining wrestling.
Look. Okay. Well, why Bruce Pritchard?
He's a McMahon guy.
Okay.
So everything that he learned from Vince, it's kind of stuck with.
Oh, it could be. Can we agree that Dominic Mysterio is the future of this company?
No.
You don't think he's the future of this company?
Not world champion, at least right now.
No, I'm not talking about. That's what I'm saying. Future. I'm not saying present. The future. I'm talking about the next 4 to 5 years.
I'll give him 10. In the next 10 years, he's only like 24, 25.
Which the fact that we're even, or that I'm even bringing it up, because you're not saying this, you're not agreeing with me. The fact, and I'm not the only one that said this. I've heard this on a couple different people talk about Dominic Mysterio this way. Dominic Mysterio has the same potential that Randy Orton had whenever Randy Orton was starting at this company. The main difference between Dominic Mysterio and Randy Orton is that Dominic Mysterio is not a screw-up the way that Randy Orton was whenever he first started.
But we said this about Bron Breakker too.
I'm not saying he's the only future, but he is part of the future of this company.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay.
I'll agree with that statement.
I think within the next 5 years, you have a Dominic Mysterio that is so over.
And he's already over right now.
And that's what I'm saying, so over, that there is a contention of him being
Think he has
the
a
face
better
of the
career
company.
than his dad?
Yes, 100%. And I say that not to take anything away from Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was the guy when little people, when when smaller wrestlers weren't supposed to have that limelight.
Yeah, he was between him, super crazy.
Do you
psychosis.
think Rey Mysterio is who he is without Eddie Guerrero?
He had some other good matches with the Malenko. Like, we're talking like 1989. I mean, it was like 1990.
I do think that Dominic Mysterio is going to be it's going to be a household name.
I'll go with that.
Maybe
I don't know.
Even more so than Rey Mysterio.
It just depends. I mean, we're seeing he's breaking out into his own right now.
You know what? I take it back. And I apologize for dragging this on. Rey Mysterio will be bigger than Dominic Mysterio because Dominic Mysterio is going to elevate the Rey Mysterio's name.
Yeah, I can see that.
So and at one point he will be as good, if not better, than.
But what's this have to do with Finn Balor?
Great question. What does this have to do with Finn Balor? That the company might choose to push new talent over older talent. So in a match between Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor, whenever Finn Balor turns heel,
you're also saying that in a WWE where a 48-year-old John Cena just won the WWE Championship.
Well, we understand that this is a one-off situation, right? Like you can't compare Finn Balor to John Cena.
We're talking about and that's what they're doing with this whole faction with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Bron Breakker's the younger guy.
They're building him up.
You know, it happens all the time in wrestling.
But it's a passing of a torch, yes. Right? It's a let me give you the knowledge that I didn't have the privilege of knowing myself.
He's the next match probably for Dom is AJ Styles. That's another one he has to, I don't know how they're going to do it. I also don't know if they're going to turn him face and Finn's going to be heel. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's going to be like a double switch.
Okay, double turn.
But, I also see, I don't know. Who gets kicked out? Do they kick Dom out of Judgment Day? Or does Finn Balor just leave Judgment Day? These are things you got to think about.
Okay.
But Dom should definitely win the rivalry between him and Finn.
And that's where I'm going with. Like, that's why I say in the time where we want to see Finn Balor be elevated again, right now is very unfortunate for him because who's his main rivalry that you can see?
Right now, it's Dom.
Exactly.
Right now.
Right now. So if you go Finn versus Dom, probability is that Dom will win.
Yeah.
Which will, I mean, that
I really
depending on
hope
how
they
they
don't.
do it, that can bury
I really
even further Finn Balor.
really hope that they don't wait much longer because it's already at a boil. You can tell.
Yeah. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really, really helps us out with our engagement. That's the least that you can
Who
do.
do you want to see in John Cena's career?
And John Cena's what?
End John Cena's
And
career.
John Cena's career. Comment R-Truth in the comment section.
Don't forget, R-Truth might beat John Cena at Saturday Night's main event for the title.
I would like to see that. All right. That being said, peace.